welcome to Storytime with METC. My name is Jenny, and today we're going to be reading the story of Rumpelstiltskin. If you have our fairy tale fun to go craft kit, this is the perfect story to go along with our simple spinning and weaving activities. Our kit includes all the supplies for you to try out simple weaving and spinning crafts, but you can also find a video on how to do simple weaving on our METC at home site if you don't have our craft kit. Who knows, maybe you'll even be able to spin straw into gold. If you'd like to sit back and enjoy this story, that's okay too. Now let's get started and read the story of Rumpelstiltskin. Right. By the side of a wood in a country a long way off ran a fine stream of water, and upon the stream there stood a mill. The miller's house was close by, and the miller, you must know, had a very beautiful daughter. She was moreover very shrewd and clever, and the miller was so proud of her that he told the king of the land, who used to come and hunt by the wood, that his daughter could spin straw into gold. Now, this king was very fond of money and very greedy, and when he heard of the miller's daughter's skill, he sent for the girl to be brought before him. Then he led her to a chamber in his palace where there was a great heap of straw, and he gave her a spinning wheel and said, "All of this must be spun into gold before morning, as you love your life." It was in vain that the poor maiden said that it was only a silly boast of her father, for she could do no such thing as spin straw into gold. But the chamber door was locked, and she was left alone. She sat down in one corner of the room and began to cry, when all of a sudden the door opened, and a droll-looking little man hobbled in and said, "Good morrow to you, my good lass. What are you weeping for?" "Alas," she said, "I must spin the straw into gold, and I know not how." "What will you give me if I help you?" said the hobgoblin. "Well, my necklace," replied the maiden. He took her at her word, and he sat himself down to the wheel and whistled and sang, round about, lo and behold, reel away, straw into gold." And round about the wheel merrily went, and the work was quickly done, and the straw was spun all into gold. When the king came in and he saw this, he was greatly astonished and pleased, and his heart still grew more greedy. And then he shut up the poor miller's daughter again with a fresh task. Then she knew not what to do, and sat down once more to weep. But then the dwarf soon opened the door and said, "What will you give me to spin some more straw into gold?" And she said, "Well, the ring on my finger." So her little friend took the ring, and he began to work at the wheel again, and whistled and he sang, round about, lo and behold, reel away, straw into gold. Till long before morning, the work was all done. Then the king came in, and he was greatly delighted to see all the glittering treasure, but still he had not had enough. So he took the miller's daughter to yet a larger heap and said, "All of this must be spun by tonight, and if it is, you shall be my queen." As soon as she was alone, the dwarf came in and said, "What will you give me to spin this gold for you for a third time?" "I have nothing left," she said. "Then say you will give me," said the little man, "the first little child that you may have when you are queen." That may never be, thought the miller's daughter. As she knew there was no other way to get this task done, she agreed to what he had asked. And then round about went the wheel again, and the old song, and the little man once more spun the heap into gold. The king came in the morning, and finding all he wanted, he was forced to keep his word, so he married the miller's daughter, and she really did become his queen. At the birth of her first little child, she was very happy and forgot all about the little man and what she had said and promised. But one day, he came to her into her room where she was sitting playing with her baby and reminded her of it. She was greatly sad about her misfortune and said she would give him all the wealth of the kingdom if he would let her keep her child. But in vain, until at last her tears softened him. And he said, "Fine, I will give you 3 days' grace, and if during that time you can tell me my name, I will let you keep your child." Oh no, I wonder what the queen will do. The queen lay awake all night thinking of all the odd names she had ever heard, and then she sent messengers out throughout the kingdom to find new names. Each of them, he said to her, "Madam, that is not my name." The next day, the little man came, and she began with Timothy, Ichabod, Benjamin, Jeremiah, and all the names she could remember. But to each and all of them he said, "Madam, that is not my name." The second day she began with all the comical names she could hear, Bandylegs, Hunchback, Crookshanks, and so on. But the little gentleman said to every single one of them, "Madam, that is not my name." The third day, one of the messengers came back and said, "I have traveled 2 days without hearing of any other names, but yesterday, as I was climbing a high hill among the trees of the forest where the fox and the hare bid each other good night, I saw a little hut, and before the hut burnt a fire, and round about the fire a funny little man was dancing upon one leg and singing, 'Merrily the feast I'll make, today I'll brew, tomorrow I'll bake. Merrily I'll dance and sing, for the next day will a stranger bring. Little does the lady dream that Rumpelstiltskin is my name.'" When the queen heard this, she jumped for joy, and as soon as her little friend came, she sat there upon the throne and called all of her court to enjoy the fun. And the nurse stood by her side with her baby in the arms as if she was quite ready to give the baby up. The little man began to chuckle as he thought of having the poor child to take home with him to his hut in the woods. And he cried out, "Now, lady, what is my name?" "Is it John?" she asked. "No, madam." "Is it Tom?" "No, madam." "Is it Jemmy?" "It is not, madam." "Can your name be," the lady started slyly, "Rumpelstiltskin?" And then the little man cried out, "Some witch told you that, some witch told you that." And he dashed his foot right through so deep in the floor that he was forced to grab it and pull it right out. And then he made his way out while the nurse laughed and the baby cooed and all the court jeered at him for having so much trouble for nothing. And they all said, "We wish you a very good morning and a merry feast, Mr. Rumpelstiltskin." The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story of Rumpelstiltskin, and you'll check out our craft and our craft kits at our website, www.metc.org. We'll see you again soon for another story time at METC.